So what was some of the biggest challenges you had that you've been hit over the head with, that challenged you as a business person, as a person, on your entrepreneurial journey? What's some of the biggest challenge, or a big challenge that you had to deal with that was hard, and entrepreneurs need to think about?
I think building culture. I think I never fully understood how much you have to invest in building culture. Uh, the culture in certain organizations is not as important, but if you're a entrepreneur and your startup, culture is everything. Like again, if you worked at the post office or what have you, I mean, the culture is important, but they're not trying to light the world on fire and, you know, take things to the next level. There's certain fields and jobs where you just need to do a good job. And so that culture is important, but it has just to be a friendly environment, professional, but not this culture of like we have to innovate and improve and provide better quality every day. That's a never-ending journey. That kind of culture has to be uh, it has to come from the leaders, because if the leaders can't enroll people in that vision, then it's not, no one else will. So it's, people don't naturally get the vision.
Yeah.
It's really incumbent on the leader, often by example, you know, uh, but also by insisting on it and hiring for that, right? So you don't. I would much rather hire someone who is coachable and all bought in than someone with a lot of experience, uh, who's very proficient, but is not as coachable and is not as bought. It's more of a job for them. So that intangible can be the make or break often for a lot of companies. And I know it was probably for us too, if we had not identified, leadership and nurtured that leadership and invested time in that leadership.
So what part of what I'm hearing is that it sounds like that the leader needs to have a vision that he can communicate effectively to bring everyone with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the greatest sales job you'll ever have to do, because if people think you're not in it to win it, or if you're not, if something horrible happens at 9 o'clock at night and you're not reachable, and you turn off your cell phone after work, and it doesn't mean you need to work, necessarily more than 40, 50 hours a week. But if you're detached, or, if you need a, massive office the first, year of your business, and, there's cues, that you can send that, like one of the things that I did really early on is, like I would always answer the phone and just to send the message. So if the phone rang more than once or twice, I would pick it up, and I would literally be the receptionist. I'd book an appointment, I'd do anything, and things like that sent the message. Oh my gosh, you know what? We're not going to let the phone ring more than once or twice, because they didn't like that I picked it up. It bothered them. It's like,
Yeah.
why is he picking up the phone? I mean, why is he like he's like literally picking up the phone and booking appointments, answering questions, and
Yeah.
and when you're small and starting out, you got to send the message that, listen, no one's above it, no one's below it. I'm taking out the garbage, you're taking out the garbage. We're that's, and it can't be just a fake message. You got to really believe that doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
I'm signing for the packages, you're signing for the packages, and you're doing inventory, I'm doing inventory. Everyone does everything, and you're always available, ideally, within reason. And if you're not always available, if you're not always thinking about the business, why would somebody else do it?